How's it going? Dr. J here with another inspiring message of health, and today we're going to talk about the power of breath control. We're going to talk about what it means to overbreathe and how bad that can be for your health, and what it means to breathe correctly and why this can make a critical impact in your health overall that can create lasting changes that'll pay you dividends in the long runs. So this is going to be a great video. You're not going to want to miss this one, so stay tuned. Okay, so everything I'm going to be talking about today is based on Oxygen Advantage. It's a book written by Patrick McKeown, phenomenal book, all about the power of breath control. I want you to pick up that book off Amazon. I started reading it, I couldn't set it down until I was done with it. So everything I'm going to be talking about today is based on that one book alone. All right, so we're going to talk about what it means to breathe normally, what it means to overbreathe. And here's what I want you to get. Most Americans are overbreathing. They're taking in too much air. Somehow, we haven't really focused on the importance of breath control. In fact, many of the meditation techniques, many of the breathing techniques, they actually focus more on taking in lots and lots of air. And according to Patrick McKeown in his book, that's not such a good thing. If you look at Asian culture and mixed martial arts, they really focus on making your breath unnoticeable. In fact, you shouldn't even notice yourself breathing. It should be super, super light, okay? You shouldn't hear yourself breathing. It should be completely unnoticeable, and that's a sign of a healthy person. Look at any sedentary person, and let's say they're walking up a hill or they're climbing upstairs or whatever, and they get to the top. Can't you just hear them gasping for air? They take big gusts of all this air in, and it's because they're out of shape. So if overbreathing was a sign of good health, then why are all the overbreathers living sedentary lifestyles and stressed out of their minds? And a lot of people don't realize that your diet and your stress levels determine a lot of how your breathing goes day to day, okay? So a healthy person is going to take about 4 to 6 breaths in every minute, okay? I'm sorry, a healthy person is going to take about 10 to 12 breaths in every minute and take in about 5 to 6 liters of oxygen, okay? 5 to 6 liters of air. And a sedentary person will actually breathe 40 to 60 times in a minute, taking in about 10 to 12 liters of oxygen. An asthmatic will take in about 15 liters of air. I'm sorry, not oxygen, liters of air is what we're talking about, okay? So it's very important that we control our breathing. So according to Patrick McKeown, we want to breathe in and out through our nose, super, super light, and our breathing should be unnoticeable. Now, what happens is when we overbreathe, okay, we actually end up expelling more carbon dioxide, okay, and because of that we end up absorbing less oxygen. So just like when it comes to water, it's not about how much water you drink, it's how much water your body can actually absorb. It's the same thing with breathing. So it's not about how much air we're taking in, it's how much oxygen our body's actually absorbing. That is the most important thing we need to focus on. So how do you know if your body's absorbing oxygen? Well, oxygen has a lot to do with your energy levels, and when our bodies aren't absorbing oxygen like they're supposed to, we get fatigued, we find ourselves out of breath, we get very lethargic. So you'll be able to know right away. Now, what happens with overbreathing, the CO2 levels go way down, okay? your blood saturation of oxygen goes way up, but what happens is the red blood cells hold on to the oxygen. They don't want to let it go. And why is that? Because in the presence of carbon dioxide, your red blood cells will actually release the oxygen into your tissues. So it's kind of counterintuitive. The less you breathe, okay, the less air you take in, the more oxygen your body absorbs. And there's a ton of advantages. There's a ton of advantages with breathing in and out just through your nose and not your mouth. In fact, Patrick McKeown says your nose is for breathing and your mouth is for eating. So the other thing that happens is we get very, very sensitive to CO2. So there's receptors in your brain that trigger you to breathe. So when you have a higher sensitivity, a false sensitivity to higher levels of CO2, your brain is going to trigger more breathing to happen, and that's how we can get locked in this pattern of overbreathing. So what we want to do to take back the power of breath control is we want to focus on breathing in and out through the nose, nice and light, every single solitary day. We got to train ourselves to breathe in and out through our nose. Now, most people are mouth breathers, right? We breathe in and out through our mouth. And a good sign of this is when you wake up in the morning after you've had a good night's sleep, if your mouth is dry, then you know you're not taking in oxygen. You're not breathing correctly, right? Because we lose moisture when we breathe in and out through our mouths. So if you wake up with a dry mouth, then you're probably breathing in and out through your mouth. And that's where you want to focus just purely on the nose breathing. Now, when it comes to sleeping, Patrick McKeown talks about, putting tape across your mouth to force yourself into breathing in and out through your nose. Kind of a crazy exercise, but it works. I've tried it. I've known a lot of other people who've tried it as well. A lot of other YouTubers who've tried it as well. And they've noticed a big difference in their breathing. You're gonna wake up more refreshed because your body is actually absorbing oxygen. So the science behind what happens when we're breathing in less is now we're taking in less air, our CO2 levels go way up, and in the presence of CO2, your red blood cells are gonna release that oxygen into your tissues. How cool is that? Now, the other thing that happens when we breathe in and out through our nose is our body actually releases more nitric oxide. Now, if you know anything about this powerful molecule, you'll know that it's really good for your cardiovascular system. It helps to keep your blood vessels smooth and soft and flexible. It helps to reduce cholesterol. It helps to reduce plaque buildup in your arteries. It's an amazing molecule that's released in the 100,000 miles of blood vessels you have running through your body. So you actually release more nitric oxide into your airway passages when you breathe in and out through your nose, and that helps to expand your airways. So you actually end up taking in a little bit more air even though you're breathing in through your nose. Now, if you notice, if you've ever tried breathing in through your nose when you've been exercising or something like that, you'll notice that it's a little bit harder to breathe in and out through your nose. That's why most people like to breathe in and out through their mouth. Well, the reason for that is the breathing in and out through your nose actually slows your ability to take in that air because there's turbulence now. So what that does is it actually strengthens your diaphragm, the muscle that's responsible for your breathing. How cool is that? So you get a stronger diaphragm, and in times of need, like if you're doing like a burst training workout, or if you're running away from a bear that's about to attack you, or let's say somebody who's robbing your house or whatever, you're gonna be able to take in way more air when the time is right because your diaphragm is a lot stronger to do so, okay? So here's what I want you to do. There's one exercise, I think it's the most important exercise, super simple to do. It's just throughout your day, you're gonna focus on breathing light and breathing right. And you're only gonna focus on breathing in and out through the nose. And every day for about 15 minutes a day, you're gonna sit with one hand right above your navel and one hand on your chest. You're gonna lightly compress and you're gonna breathe in and out, super, super light. You're gonna focus on making your breathing unnoticeable. You're gonna focus on your breath control. So in and out through the nose, breathe light to breathe right, okay? Just like that. Now there's a couple of things you're gonna notice right away. You're gonna notice a difference in the way you feel because your body's actually gonna be absorbing more oxygen. Now it takes a couple of weeks to get into the habit of this and for it to really take effect, but you will definitely notice a difference. You'll notice a difference in how you sleep, you notice a difference in your energy levels, you'll notice a difference in your concentration levels. It makes a huge difference. And if you ever find yourself yawning throughout the day or sighing, or you run out of breath, right, and you have to gasp for air, then you know that you're over breathing and you're not controlling your breath. So one of the things I had to get in the habit of is I like to talk a lot, as many of you guys know, and the problem with that is I don't control my breathing and I oftentimes run out of air, right? So I've really had to sometimes slow down my speech rhythm so I can really focus on breathing. And because of that, I find myself running out of I find myself not running out of air like I normally would. The other things that are going to have a dramatic effect on breathing, I said before, like your diet. So eating a more alkalizing diet, lots of greens, getting your vitamins, your nutrients, your minerals, drinking plenty of water, not over caffeinating yourself with all of these acidic drinks like coffee and colas and all of these things, right? If your diet is really clean and pristine, you'll notice a difference and change in your breathing. And then also just really regulating your stress levels, okay? Really just managing your stress. And I like to coin that as, peace management versus stress management. Now, the other thing that's gonna have a dramatic effect on your breathing is your shoulders, your chest, where your head and neck is. So we talk a lot about posture in my office. So keeping the shoulders back, keeping your head neutral position with the shoulders, that's gonna help you to take in more air. A lot of people with forward head posture and rounded shoulders have a reduced vital lung capacity because they end up with all this mechanical pressure and stress on their chest. You can reduce your vital lung capacity by up to 30% simply by rounding your body forward like this, and all of a sudden you're taking in less air, you're absorbing less oxygen, and you're gonna have less energy overall. Remember, oxygen is that critical nutrient our body needs in order to thrive. So here's what I want you guys to get from this. You need to focus on breath control. It's powerful. And if you're like me, okay, like a lot of people that watch my stuff, you guys are probably into health, but you haven't really focused as much as you should on your breath control. So start by breathing in and out through your nose. Start with that 15-minute exercise every single morning. So one of the things I like to do is I do my meditation and I focus on breathing light to breathe right in and out through the nose. I do my meditation, have my headphones in, and say my affirmations, and it's a powerful morning. So I'm focusing on my breath, focusing on my affirmations, focusing on my meditation. It's freaking awesome. I have my prayer time between me and God. It's an amazing, powerful time in the morning. So, that 15-minute exercise, the best time of day, in my opinion, is either right when you wake up or right before you go to bed. And to be honest, if you do it right before you go to bed, it's powerful because it can create a relaxation response because you're stimulating your parasympathetic nerve system by breathing in and out through your nose, and that helps to put your body into more of a rest and repair state. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something from it. Remember, that one thing I want you to get is just to focus on your breathing. You're probably over breathing. You never really realized it. Pick up Patrick McKeown's book, Oxygen Advantage. Get it off Amazon. And just so you know, I write all about this technique in the book I'll be coming out with in January of next year, called Designed to Thrive. I can't wait to get that book to you guys. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Remember, it's Aligned to Thrive, because when everything is in alignment, it's all systems go, and you can truly thrive in life. Have a very blessed day, and God bless.